Previously on Little Did I Know.
I think what we're looking for is someone with a better sense of what is going to work here in Plymouth.
Dr. Barrows can give you a real leg up, and I can give you Dr. Barrows. But what if I could tell him that you've reconsidered your position?
Lizzie, I think your kimono belt is coming loose.
That you're willing to be flexible.
Are we still talking about musicals? You know, talking with you is so different.
There's a joke coming, right?
No joke. No, definitely no joke. It's just so different. It's like speaking a foreign language.
Wow, I never have guessed that this was in your native tongue.
Really, Veronica, don't you think it's time that you retire from the food service industry? You're literally steps from the ocean, but you keep standing on the shore.
Well, not all of us can just dive into our futures the way the irrepressible Sam August can.
I might be irrepressible, but you're undeniable. So what gives? Why haven't you pursued your dream?
I was accepted to the post-grad program at the University of California in San Diego. I was supposed to start the fall after Eddie died. It turns out you can't get a master's degree if you can't even get yourself out of bed. The most I could do was request that they give me a deferral, and then another, and another.
The Audio Drama Initiative and Jaleh and Warren Trepp present Little Did I Know, a musical based on the novel by Mitchell Maxwell.
I can't believe we're less than a week away from opening the final show of our season. This summer has been the fastest of my life. The final box office numbers are in for A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and they were very encouraging. Towards the end of the run, we were running at nearly 80% capacity, which is up quite a bit from where we were with Hello Dolly. And since the end of summer is the busiest time of year in Plymouth, there's every reason to believe that the crowds will be even bigger for The Music Man. It's going to be a great show. The crew seems to be having a terrific time living in the silver, as Ellie puts it. They've accepted the challenge of being extremely creative while also being tourist-friendly, and they've run with it. It's been truly instructive to witness. I mean, in college, we could push the boundaries simply for the sake of pushing boundaries, and some impressive work came of it. We're using so much more of our talents while still managing to color within the lines. It's an extremely valuable lesson. And Veronica's great. We had another one of our weekly dinner dates last night, and as usual, we talked until the waiter called to our attention the fact that all the other diners had left. I had no idea. So, yeah, just a few more weeks left of the summer. Gotta make the most of them. Yes, that number is going to be great. Thank you so much for all your hard work today, everyone. Take 10.
So what are you going to do to boost the box office, August?
Kat, I didn't hear you approaching.
Yeah, people usually don't.
Boost the box office? Do you think we underachieved with Forum?
You're doing okay, but a big finish will make all the difference to the bottom line.
Does the Chamber of Commerce take this much interest in every business in Plymouth?
Some businesses and some businessmen have us more interested than others. The Chamber has an especially strong interest in the success of the Plymouth Barn Theater. It's an institution.
Lucky me. Is there something I can do for you?
Just making my regular check-in and ensuring that nothing gets in the way of the theater's success.
Well, feel free to review the troops or whatever it is that gets you off.
To tell you the truth, there's one troupe I'd like to review more closely.
Is that so?
Yeah. You know that dancer of yours?
We have a lot of dancers, Kat. You're going to have to be more specific.
I'm not talking about the chorus girls, August. I could have any chorus girl I want just by snapping my fingers. You know that. I'm talking about that special dancer. You know, Allie.
Are you talking about Ellie?
Allie. What's the difference?
Well, one is her name, and the other is not.
Okay, have it your way, August. Ellie. What's her story? She seems kind of wild.
I have no idea what you mean.
You know, she's always gyrating around and all.
She's a dancer. Dancers gyrate. Their bodies are a pretty important part of them.
Oh, I think her body's a pretty important part of me too, August. Must be, because every time I see her use it, I think about what else it could be doing.
I think it might be time for you to leave, Kat.
I mean, she just leaps around like a wild stallion. I know how to break wild stallions, August, if you know what I mean.
You're not exactly being subtle.
Once I have them in the saddle, they'll do whatever I want them
Leave now, Kat.
Don't get hot under the collar, August. Oh, wait. Are you betting her? You do get around, don't you?
I'm not betting Ellie, but that's not the point.
Then you won't mind if I saddle her up.
Leave now, Kat.
We'll get back to this, August. I'm going to want you to put in a good word for me.
Why would I possibly put in a good word for you?
Because you don't want the consequences if you don't, champ. Like I said, we're going to get back to it.
Mr. August, I'm a little surprised to see you back here and not in the middle of the action, rallying your charges.
Just left them, actually, Dr. Barrows.
Do you have a minute for me?
Of course.
I'm glad I caught you alone, actually. There's something I'd like to discuss with you out of the earshot of others.
There is?
Yes. Now, look, Sam, I know that there's plenty of talent among your crew and your cast, but I think we both know that talent doesn't amount to much without vision.
I definitely understand what you mean by that, sir.
I want you to know that I'm aware that the vision is coming from you. And once we got some of those silly notions out of your head about which shows to put on, you've used that vision wisely. Do you know what's the top box office season of all time at the Plymouth Barn Theater?
I can't say that I do.
That would be the summer of 1958.
Now I know.
Do you know what the second highest box office season was?
I don't know that one either, sir.
The next summer, summer of 59. Now, do you want to take a guess as to the third highest box office season?
Now?
That's right. The program you're putting on right now is the third most successful in the theater's history. And there's still a chance you can hit number 2.
That's very gratifying to hear, Dr. Barrows.
I would be being less than candid if I didn't say that I had my doubts about you. Elizabeth really twisted my arm to hire you. She had to twist pretty hard. I thought you were brash and unseasoned. And just to be clear, you are both those things.
Well,
but something tells me that this season would not have been nearly as successful if you hadn't been that brash or so fresh in your approach.
Thank you for noticing, sir.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm very glad Elizabeth pushed the issue.
Please thank her for me.
I'm sure you'll find a way to thank her yourself.
Well, you know how those sentiments can sometimes be misinterpreted.
Meanwhile, I wanted to show my appreciation in another way. A dear old friend of mine is an agent at the William Morris Agency. I assume you know William Morris.
I think everyone in our business knows William Morris.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Anyway, I've invited Carl to be my guest at the closing night of The Music Man. I told him all about you, and if he's as impressed with the show as I'm sure he will be, he'll be making you an offer of representation.
Wow. Dr. Barrows, that's just stunning.
Oh, that's assuming, of course, that you don't already have representation lined up. I hope I wasn't being presumptuous.
No, that would be correct.
Then you're going to want to make sure that Carl sees the show of his life.
I will definitely make sure of that.
Good to hear. Well, I need to get going. Just wanted to share that piece of news with you.
Thank you, Dr. Barrows. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sam. You've made my theater come alive again.
William Morris. Outrage, triumph, revelation. It all happens here on the stage. What good is everything good in the world if it stays frozen stiff on the page? Love without limits, futures unknown, passions we've yet to define. Let others' futures get stuck on a shelf. There's only one place for mine.
Sam?
James, what's going on?
One of the lighting banks is all over the stage. Well, actually, part of it is through the stage.
I'm coming. Anyway, the stage will be fixed by tomorrow. I'm just glad no one was standing underneath the lights when they came down.
That would have put a damper on the summer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it might have changed the tone a bit. I can't believe there's only a few weeks left before we start packing everything up.
Time tends to go by very quickly when you're busy. At least that's my excuse. I have no idea why time is moving fast for you.
Yeah, I've just been soaking up the sun and watching the surf. So, Barrows came by with some big news for me today. It turns out he's introducing me to an agent from William Morris on closing night.
That's a good thing?
Yes, that's a good thing. The William Morris Agency, it's the biggest talent agency in New York. I mean, can you believe that Barrows has gone from casting me aside during my first interview to then nearly firing me to now creating an opportunity that could put my career on the fast track?
I swear, you're the first person to ever get a reprieve from Dr. Barrows. That was a heck of a trick you pulled off.
I guess you could call it that. Hey, listen, we should talk about what happens after the season is over. I'm going to be living in New York for the conceivable future. I mean, there might be road companies from time to time, but my business is going to be in Manhattan. Have you ever wanted to live in the city? I know the Hudson River isn't an ocean, but it must be teeming with sea life. Probably mutated sea life. I mean, how cool would it be to study that? Or if not that, I can just plan to come up here as often as possible. It's not a difficult drive, and
Sam, why don't we sit down for a minute?
Sure.
Okay, I have something to tell you, and it's a pretty big deal. I reached out to San Diego State, and my deferral is still good, so I'm gonna start my post-grad work with them in the fall.
Wow, that's great. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thanks. I think I'm finally ready to do this. They gave me the official word yesterday.
You've known this since yesterday. I can't believe you've kept it to yourself. If that had been me, I would have been running all over town, making sure every person in Plymouth knew.
I consider that, but I wanted to tell you first. And before I told you, I wanted to make sure that I was certain of what else I needed to tell you at the same time. Sam, when the summer's over, I think you and I need to be over too.
Wait. What? Why? I know most people have a tough time making it as a couple from a distance, but...
Well, that's not it. I've been thinking about this all the time lately, and the real issue is I love you, Sam.
I don't think most breakups start this way.
No, I suppose not. But realizing that I'm in love with you has made me think about us being more than a summer fling, and about us trying to make it work with me in San Diego and you in New York, and about a whole bunch of other things. And when I start envisioning all of that, I realize that our pieces don't truly fit together.
Well, yeah, sure, there are some differences between us. I mean, you come from a small town, and I'm a big city guy, but...
It's more like you're larger than life, and I'm earthbound with life. You want to make the world laugh and cry and sing, and I want to swim with porpoises.
I don't understand. People with different careers have successful relationships all the time.
I know, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I love seeing you in your world, and it has been a real inspiration.